Mickey, man, thank you first and foremost, brother, for coming to the show. I know you're a busy guy, so I'm very fired up that I get to talk to you today. And I'm sure we'll do this again, where it's like a longer form with like more of a you focus. But I want you to kind of take us through today. You're here to talk about an event that you've been a part of and that you've been going to for a few years now, called 5 Cent City. All right, so let's get into it. Describe what the event is.
Wow, it's, I've sat in pitches with Christian, and it's such a beautiful thing and so hard to explain at the same time. It's an amalgamation of basketball, art, hip-hop music. I think there's some rock music this year.
Oh, nice.
And, like, hope. Like, our community's suffering, right? It's, I think all communities are suffering at this point. It's not just a Sudbury problem. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's you know what, you have to go and check it out just to understand how amazing of an event it is. It's life altering, really. Yeah.
So describe kind of your like introduction to the event.
This is funny. I had wanted to, obviously, like, I'm in recovery, and I do a lot of work in the community with that, and KT had reached out to me about getting interviewed for 5 Cent City, and this is the first time I met Christian.
Yeah.
And me and Christian just kind of hung out, and he had me spit some rhymes, and he interviewed me, and also fixed my back because my back was hurting.
Come on.
Yeah, behind the Colson, it was like weird or anybody watching that. And what an amazing. I feel so blessed to be involved in something that's such a beautiful thing and giving people hope.
So when was that? Like, how many years ago? Or is that?
I'm thinking it would have been the one right before the pandemic, because this is the third one I participated in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so
2019, 2018.
Yes.
It's all going by so fast.
Yeah. Wow. Geez. No kidding, eh?
Mm.
Man, how did you, so with that kind of like, what role do you like believe that this event has, like, and what it plays for the community as a whole? Because you've gotten to seen it for a few years now. I think you've been at 3 of them, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. So of the 5 that's coming, so the 4 that have done, right? So the majority of them. How have you been able to see, like, what role has this event played for the community?
It gives people hope, and it also gives them a place to get together and grieve, whatever's gone on in the past year. There's like a whole generation. It's like our generation, more specifically the generation below me, it's like they went off to war. That's how many people we've lost.
Wow. I'm sure because you've been there for all except one, I'm sure you've seen a lot of different people come up to you or have talked with different people and stuff like that at the event. Even just people who, I don't know if this has happened to you there. I know other people have come up to other guests I've had in the past about at this event and just mentioned like, oh man, like what you're doing is so cool, whatever, or maybe your story like touched them in a certain way or inspired them to do something. So I'm wondering if you've had a moment like that, and how has that kind of affected you? Like, has anybody come up and approached you about it, or during, like, what are some things that you've heard through the event to you?
I break my anonymity real hard about my recovery, so it's kind of like an almost every week occurrence. I have people I'm helping getting sober or maybe taking through the steps. Specifically to the event, I've gotten to introduce a couple of my friends from Southern Ontario to the event.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, we had Decisive at the last one. He was a Juno-nominated amazing artist.
Oh, wow.
And like I said, being in recovery, like, sobriety is a whole different gig, right? It's a whole way of living. You really have to get outside of yourself. So I can see almost all sides of situations, though, even if they're horrific. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So this year has the theme of resilience, right? And it's kind of, I like it as a way to, like, it encompasses the steps that each year has kind of been to where we are now. And I think what's very, very cool about that is everybody who I have had on so far, and the people I have on specifically for this event series, is has demonstrated some form of resilience in their life. And I know it's tough sometimes to think back of like how, because there's almost a bit of like a ego involved where I have to look back into my life and go, what did I do? What was difficult, and what did I do to overcome that? But I'd like you to find a way, if you can share like an example how you've kind of demonstrated resilience in your life, like something you've had that was very difficult and something you had to like an adversity, something that you had to overcome.
Yeah. I struggled for years with substance abuse, and I'd been in and out of treatment centers for, almost a decade. And going back and forth to treatment centers, like I was a serial relapser, which they say for most people is a part of their journey anyway, if you're lucky to get sober after so many times relapsing. And I remember the last one. Normally I was in this routine where I would like, get sober, go to a treatment center, and then I would come out, and within 6 months I would always slip, relapse, and get back into active addiction, right? The last time, however, I remember I didn't go to a treatment center. I went, I was, can I swear?
Yeah, sure, episode.
I was fucking up large. I had a plan, like, subconsciously planned the relapse, basically. I was going through some shit. And I just checked into a detox for about 5 days. And I these are things I went to quick, kicking and screaming before, Like, I'd always go on my, like, it would always be me. Like, no one's ever forced me to go into, like, a rehab facility or anything like that.
Yeah.
I always went on my own. But I remember the guy asking me, like, I met up with a friend of mine, and he asked me, like, do you need to go to detox? And I said, absolutely, take me right now.
Oh.
And it was a very, like, big surrendering point in my life. And I remember being there, and I had so much shit going on for me that was so positive, right? I just released an album, 2 albums. I was working on we started to work on a side project called Magic Show with Max Moon, and we were gearing up to release that. And I remember coming out of that relapse, and I was just so fucking determined never to go back. And it's not even determination, it's more is that I accepted the fact that I can't have any mind altering substances, right? Or it's just going to lead to another thing, and then once I get to a certain point I can't stop until I check myself in somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And coming to the realization and accepting that I can't have anything, I really went hard on my art. And since 2019, going in and out of this, right? I'll be 3 years on August 10th. I'm not sure when this is airing, but
wow.
Yeah, thanks.
That's like, congrats. That's like Thursday.
Yeah, it's Thursday.
Jeez.
Yeah. It's, it doesn't even seem real. But I'd gone, like, I took it. I wanted to come out swinging, and I just fill my schedule with as many activities as possible. And
smart.
My art just, it took my art to another level. So you don't got to get wasted to make art, people.
So what I think is cool that I admire a lot about kind of what you've done, but the challenge of, I think I can imagine, what's the vibe like, or what are like a percentage of the venues that you would say are like that you perform in, or like bars and like clubs or halls that you that like drugs and alcohol and stuff like that are very, very prevalent in?
All of them.
Yeah. So you're like 111%.
Yeah.
But I think that is something that's even, like, as the 3 years approaches, that's as impressive, is having to, you're not just like, you've kind of like focused all in on the art, but then it's not like I'm going to move to a different country where they don't have it, or I'm going to move to a different place, or disassociate from you didn't disassociate from like the environment to which all that stuff would be very prevalent. It's like you had almost easy access the entire time, and it's just like you just stayed on the course.
Absolutely, yeah. Like I said, it's accepting and surrendering that I cannot touch anything, because it's going to lead to something like, if I drink, I'm going to grab a bag of Coke.
Yeah. Oh, like it's, the steps.
Yeah. If I smoke weed, then I'll start justifying dropping acid and mushrooms on the weekend. Next thing you know, it's going to lead to drinking. Next thing you know, it leads to Coke. I just play that tape all the way to the end every time, right?
Jeez.
And I'll do it to the point where everybody hates me and I lose everything, right?
Yeah. And you're just sick of doing kind of the cycle.
Absolutely, yeah. Like, it's no way to live. I'm like, I don't know what the exact percentage of people that recover. but it's very low, man. Like, not many people make it out. Most people die. I remember being on the phone with my sponsor at the time, and him saying like, I'm like, I gotta come clean with you. I relapsed and blah blah blah. And he's like, I'm like, what do I do? He's like, well, we need to get you into detox immediately. And I'm like, I'm not fucking going to detox.
Yeah.
You know. The last time, however, I was like, just
you're like, yes,
take me, man. I had enough.
Get me out of here.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And yeah, just as you know, I have a really good circle of people around me.
Yeah.
You know, when you're at your lowest, I feel like you really find out who's in your corner, right? No matter what. And I have those people around me, and they're big champions and my cheerleaders in my recovery. And they see me go through it, right?
Yeah. Well, so what was that like realization like? Because that fascinates me. Before we move on, I'm curious. What was that realization period like? Like, what do you think was the thing that was the difference maker of like, okay, this is it, like this last straw, like, yeah, I'm going detox, like now I'm surrendering to it. Like, what do you think that was? You might have mentioned it, but I'm really curious.
It's how many times can you do something to yourself until you finally learn your lesson, right?
Yeah. Fair.
I'm lucky enough to have survived.
Yeah.
Because not many of my friends are here. That I grew up with.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So first of all, like I'm taken back because that's phenomenal, and just knowing too like that you're like performing and you're like knocking on the door of 3 years.
It's
right?
work
like,
to me, right?
Yeah.
I think of it as a job. I go in, I do my thing.
Okay.
I hang out by the merch booth. If anything, it's elevated my art career to like whole nother level, right?
It's allowed almost like your brain to kind of focus more on that than it is to like get diluted with other things.
Exactly, and there's so many parts of the music business that there's so many things to it, right? It's not just like, oh, I made a song, cool. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I got to book tours, I got to get the artwork ready, I got to plan music videos. Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? Who's going to do that? Social media updates.
Yeah,
it's a full-time job in itself, right? And I do everything myself. Well, not myself. Shout out to Thomas Quinlan, Hand Solo Records. But I do a lot of the stuff myself. Like I book myself. I book my own tours. I'm in conceptualizing everything, and I have my amazing producer that I work with. That's my brother, Fresh Kills, who will be at 5 Cent City this year.
Right on.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So speaking of the event and circling back to it, how has, and we touched on this a bit, but I'm curious if you can expand how the event itself has impacted you. If we focus just on the event. It could be things you've heard or stories that have been told, or it could be just people you've met that may be excluding the first event or excluding like Christian stuff. So
excluding Christian?
Yeah.
Well,
like other people as well. I'm curious if anybody else stand out.
To be like specific, like like Jordan, all the Kilgannons. Shout out to Mr. Kilgannon Senior, Killer, Al, Pat. We have a group of guys that help. How do I put it? Help each other believe in each other.
I like that.
You know what I mean? Because I think it's like a human characteristic to just be like, shit, no one believes in me.
Oh yeah.
Even then, like I can get 100 likes on a post on Instagram or Facebook and be like,
enough.
Whatever. You know what I mean? Like, and it's to have a group of people that organize that we organize this with, to be so willing to help and give you an ear, or give you advice, check you.
Yeah, that's a big one. A lot of friends and like people don't do that. I almost find the importance of checking or keeping somebody accountable is when we don't keep our friends accountable, it almost feels like we don't have a confidence or we don't trust that our friendship is good enough to maintain the confrontation that comes along with holding somebody accountable, right? Like I can't call you up and be like, hey man, like what are we doing here? Like we can figure out some way better, like, hey, like checking you, right? I don't think you can do that if the friendship or the group the trust isn't there.
For sure. Like I know there's so many times in my life where I wish someone would have just pulled me aside and said, bro, get your fucking shit together.
Yeah.
You're a fucking mess.
Yeah.
Whether or not I would have listened at the time is irrelevant.
Different thing.
You know? But now, like, you know, I have friends I check on stuff like that. I like being, I'm glad I'm held accountable for the things I do. And it's just such a beautiful group of people that put this event together. Just some amazing humans. So some of the best people I've ever met in my life.
So who do you think this event kind of like targets? Like, who do you think is the like best demographic of people that should show up?
It's an event really for everyone. Like, and you know, if you've had someone that's in your family, or you know, even if you haven't had someone in your family that's suffered a tragedy, or you know, gone through mental health or addiction issues, it'll probably happen, and you're going to be able to relate on some level, right? Either you're going to learn something or you're going to relate.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, it'll humble people real quick if they've never gone through anything like that, right?
Right.
And show the other side of it. You know, people grieving people's losses, and you know, people's stories of like the hardships that they went through, right?
Yeah. It's intense. There's a lot of there's a lot of emotion.
Shit gets real, man.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, big time.
And it stays like that though too. Like there's so many like crazy stories, and it's just almost overwhelming the amount of examples of like, you know, moms who've lost children due to overdose, like just like stuff like that, right? Like, man, I remember because I didn't know what to expect, right? The first time I went, not last year, the year before, I think. Not sure. It was one of the COVID ones. Yeah, so it was like, and that was I had Zach on the show. Zach told me about it. I was like, oh, we'll see what happens. So I was like, yeah, we'll go, you know, support him. And then I was like, oh, this is crazy. And then, you know, meet Mikey there, whatever. And then go on and so forth. And now here is crazy to be like a part of it, as the, like, even the small role I have is just really, 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 like, I'm grateful for one, but seeing how it's changed so many people, and even just how I've connected with the people a part of it, is just from not knowing about this thing to the role I have now is kind of like, it's really, really, it's crazy. It's impactful. It's really cool.
It's really impactful. Yeah.
So with that, do you have, what are you most looking forward to? Like, do you have like something you're most looking forward to coming up for this year, or what? Like, you've performed in the past, we're
going to take some performances to the next level this year. I got my whole squad coming in from Toronto, so we got Fresh Kills, Decisive, and Roshan, some of the best MCs in the country. And Kills is like MPC champion. He's one of the best in the world at playing the MPC live. So everybody's in for a treat. And there's lots of other local talent there as well. Johnny Business is going to be there. I think Mike Major and Joey King are going to be there. Storm Hogan, Concept and Cora, and Dead Boy Crypt, I think, too. So
nice.
It's an action-packed day and evening for sure.
Have you, so I think it was probably Dead Boy Crypt, I think. I remember the first year, or no, the second year I saw him perform, because he performed, I think, last year as well. So get this, he performed, and then the following year I told him, and I went up to him after. I was like, dude, I saw you perform last year and this year, and like different people, like congrats, because you're doing something right. And then he was like, yo, like thanks man, whatever, right? And then I saw him. I was doing flooring at my buddy's house, and he was doing the painting, right? And I was like, hey man, like, that was me, like, that was like cool. I saw you at the event, blah blah blah, like you had, and I was like elaborated on like how I thought he did much better, and he was just like, dude, I was sober. First time I wasn't. I don't even remember you coming out to me the first time. The second time I do. I don't remember the first performance. I remember the second. I was like, whoa, man.
Sobriety makes such a huge difference with art, man. Like,
I like never would have thought like how it would have paired, or how it would have like taken hold of somebody's mind that way.
It's like we're programmed to think getting fucked up and making art is the way to go, because, you know, so much death is glorified in the music industry because they make fucking money off it, right? So 27 Club, bro, and all this shit, right? Like, these poor people getting pimped out by the music industry till they freaking die.
Jeez, eh?
It's a horrible thing. Really.
No, absolutely.
The best art I've made is, you know, like, I get in rooms that there's no way in hell I would have got in if I was drinking or using, you know?
Wow.
Like,
yeah, fair.
My ability to travel and tour, like, if I was hungover every morning, like touring's grueling, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you drive like, 6 to 8 hours to one place, and then you check into the Airbnb. Hopefully you have time to have a nap.
Yeah.
And then go to sound check, stay at the venue till 3 in the morning, get some food.
Yeah.
Go to bed, wake up, do it all over again the next day.
Yeah, you almost can't be hungover.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you can't.
No, it's brutal.
You have like 5 hours.
I don't know how people would do it, man. Like,
Jeez, man. Yeah, that's just that just back-to-back days. Like, man, I did my schedule was something like that this past weekend with like going to my buddy's birthday in Montreal, where it was wake up, or it was drive the 6 hours from Sudbury to Ottawa, and then this is just my like idea of a comparable, and then we would stay up late, hanging out, drinking whatever, and then the next day it's like, okay, well now we have to wake up and drive to Montreal, and then we have to do this and see people and do this, and we have almost like a rough itinerary, and then it's, okay, well now we have to do the same thing again and then drive back, and then it's the drive, wake up, sleep, go, right?
yeah,
It takes you out.
Sometimes I do that for 6 days in a row, right? Yeah. And then come home and work at the mine on top of that.
Yeah?
After all of that.
You don't just come home and take 3 days, 4 days,
Fuck
5?
no,
You're
man.
like, no.
I had 3 days off this
Doesn't
weekend.
stop,
It was horrible, man. I was going
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Don't have nothing to do. Man, so what does this final year look like for people? What can they be excited about? What can they I know what you're excited about and stuff like that, and I know what I'm excited for, but what does it look like for people? What can they be fired up to see this year that might be different than last year's?
More music. Christian's got some crazy surprises in store. I'm not even aware of everything that's going on yet. I kind of like it because I want to be surprised too.
Nice.
But hopefully, we can have an epic last 5 Cent City.
Nice.
Right? I'm not hopefully. It's going to be fucking
It's going to be
epic.
sick.
It's going to be fucking epic for sure. I don't want to let too much go about my performance or anything like that, but yeah.
Nice. I'm fired up.
It's going to be crazy.
Sick. So tell people kind of where they can, if they're interested in showing up to the event, where can they see your stuff and your guys' stuff before they show up? Where can they see you? Where can, and then tell us about the event.
Yeah, so you can find me, Mickey O'Brien, on any streaming platforms, YouTube. I just dropped a new music video today.
Nice. Sir.
Decisive, Derek Christoph. You can find him on YouTube everywhere. He's a legend. Roshan, he's in a group called the Essex Boys. You can check that out. Fresh Kills, my dog. Find him on all social media. He just dropped his first solo album, which is rare because he's probably on 1,000 different records producing stuff. So he just dropped his first solo record this year called Disclaimer, and that's out on Urbnet. And I can't. If you have never been to this event, you have to make it to this one because it's the final one, and we're going out in style for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. So August 25th, August 26th. I'm fired up to see you there. Fired up to see what you got and see you perform. So that'll be sick. So thank you very much, man. Appreciate you doing
thank you.
Brother.
Yo, stay safe. God bless y'all.
I love it. Yeah, and that's it.